Hey, how are you feeling? If the answer is healthy, then great. If the answer is sick, that means your immune system is currently at war. Want to know how it's keeping you from perishing? Of course you do. Take some hot tea and a blanket and let me tell you all about it. Your immune system is made up of 3 lines of defense. The first line of defense is meant to stop pathogens from even getting the chance to infect your body. Your skin is the most obvious part of this. Your skin is a strong barrier that acts like a huge impenetrable wall to pathogens. Then, there's secretion and lysozymes. Lysozymes are enzymes that are in your mucus, tears, saliva, and sweat. Their job is to puncture any unwanted bacteria and kill it. Say you inhale a pathogen, it will probably get stuck in the mucous membranes in your nose or lungs, and the cilia will take care of it from there. What if a pathogen makes it to your lungs or stomach? Your body will trigger the flushing effect, which includes sneezing, coughing, puking, sweat, and diarrhea. Just anything to push those evil pathogens out. Once a pathogen makes it past the first line of defense and officially makes it into the body, that's when the second line of defense kicks in. Let's say you get a splinter in your thumb. Notice how it gets all red and puffy around it. That's the inflammatory response. The redness and swelling is caused by dilation, which is where histamine causes your capillaries to expand, allowing plasma to seep out. In this plasma are specific white blood cells, also known as phagocytes or macrophage, whose job is to eat any pathogens that were on that splinter. The next strategy to kill off pathogens is We've all had fevers, right? They suck. Well, that's actually your body heating up to try and slow down pathogens. See, pathogens hate the heat because it makes it harder for them to replicate, and easier for your white blood cells to kick their butts. So fevers aren't all bad. When a virus gets their hands on a cell and infects it, proteins inside the cell will trigger the production of enzymes designed to help the cell fight back. These proteins are called interferon proteins because they interfere with virus's evil plans. Now, the first and second lines of defense are nonspecific, meaning the reaction is the same for all pathogens. The third line of defense, however, is specific, so it responds differently depending on the pathogen. The first part is called cell-mediated immunity, which is when white blood cells respond to pathogens. There are lots of different kinds of white blood cells. Macrophage you already know about. But there's also helper T cells whose job is to activate the killer T cells and B cells when they discover a pathogen in the body. The killer T cells shoot a protein into an infected cell, which destroys the cell and the pathogen at the same time. Memory B and T cells store information from an exposure so that when the same pathogen enters the body again, they remember how to beat it before you get sick. Then there's suppressor T cells that reduce the immune system response when it isn't needed so that your body doesn't beat itself up after the pathogen is gone. The second part is the humoral immunity, which is where antibodies come in. Plasma B cells make little Y-shaped proteins called antibodies. Antibodies' jobs are to attach to antigens on pathogens, creating antibody-antigen complexes. These alert macrophage of the pathogen so that they can eat them. So there you go. That's all what's happening in your sick body right now. Crazy, right? So now you know how your immune system works.